What you're looking at isn't just an old Quran page. It's a survivor from the earliest centuries of Islam, and each leaf is huge, about 52.5 by 34 centimeters. This manuscript is known as the Katta Langar Koran, a fragment that preserves almost half of the Quranic text in the form associated with the Uthmanic standard. Scholars think it was likely written in the late 8th century, probably in or near Medina, and it's copied in Hijazi script, an early style linked to the western Arabian Peninsula. So, why does it stand out from other early Quran manuscripts? First, scale and survival. Early Qurans often reach us in scattered scraps. This one survives as a substantial fragment, covering most of chapters 2 through 71. That's extraordinary for this period. Second, the text is written in brown-black ink by at least 2 scribes, with diacritics to distinguish similar consonants, and later some vowel marks and retracing were added. Even the verse separators, clusters of dots, sometimes had to be squeezed into tight spaces after the writing was already there. And then come the details that make this Quran especially distinctive. It carries its own layered history. Originally, blank spaces separated chapters, but in the 9th century, those gaps were filled with bold geometric chapter dividers, triangles and semicircles in red and green. Inside them, scribes wrote the surah names and verse counts in a small, archaic script. A second highlight is the counting system. Alongside the chapter dividers, decorative signs were added to mark groups of verses, tens, hundreds, and 200s, with star-shaped markers for 100 and wheel-shaped ones for 200. It's a practical navigation tool turned into ornament. The manuscript's modern story is just as unusual. 81 leaves are held in St. Petersburg, acquired in 1936 and linked to the collection of the Syrian Orientalist Irinei Selim Nofal. Other leaves remain in Uzbekistan, Katta Langar, Tashkent and Bukhara, and some were preserved in later bindings, but more than half of the manuscript is still unaccounted for. Oral tradition even suggests that additional leaves survived and may still be in private hands. But not everything about the Katta Langar Koran belongs to the world of collecting and catalogues. In Katta Langar, the portion kept at the Mazar of Muhammad Sadiq remains a living object of devotion, still approached with reverence today. So this Quran isn't only an early witness to the Quranic text, it's also an unfolding investigation. Some scholars are even calling for new scientific approaches to learn more from the material itself. If more leaves resurface, the story won't just grow, it may change shape entirely. The Facsimile edition is published by Müller and Schindler in Germany.